The dramatic capture of Nicolas Maduro by the United States has sparked an intense and fiery reaction from Russia, one of Venezuela's closest and most vocal allies on the global stage. Moscow has condemned the move as a direct challenge to the balance of power in Latin America. The assault against the leader of Venezuela, compounded by the deaths of dozens of Venezuelan and Cuban citizens, in the eyes of many, has become a harbinger of a turn back to the era of lawlessness and U.S. domination by force, chaos, and lawlessness, which continues to afflict dozens of states in various regions of the world. There is no and can be no justification for the crimes cynically perpetrated by the United States in Caracas. We firmly condemn the U.S. act of armed aggression against Venezuela in breach of all international legal norms. The sudden removal of Maduro from power in Venezuela has created a deep geopolitical dilemma for President Vladimir Putin, who must now decide how far Russia can go to safeguard its influence in the region. Many observers believe that Maduro's ouster is being widely viewed as a deliberate attempt by Washington to limit and roll back the growing influence of both Moscow and Beijing in South America. U.S. President Donald Trump justified the operation against Maduro by citing Washington's broader campaign against global narco-terror networks, portraying the move as a fight against organized crime. However, experts argue that this action is far more strategic, representing a carefully calculated maneuver designed to weaken Russia's foothold in what the United States considers its own geopolitical backyard. Since the rise of Hugo Chavez in 1999, Russia has sold Venezuela an estimated $20 billion worth of arms, strengthening their defense cooperation and cementing a long-term military partnership. Reports suggest that Moscow was also secretly permitted to maintain a covert network of intelligence gathering bases across Venezuelan territory, adding another layer to their strategic collaboration. A report in Moscow Times claims that Moscow had repeatedly been invited by Caracas to build or manage a naval base in the southern Caribbean, a move that alarmed U.S. defense analysts. Russian corporations have been among the chief beneficiaries of Venezuela's economic privileges, reaping enormous profits through energy, mining, and infrastructure projects that few others could access. Just weeks before his downfall, Maduro had renewed and expanded the PDVSA-Rosneft joint venture, reaffirming his commitment to Russian energy interests despite mounting U.S. pressure. Analysts warned that Trump's aggressive foreign policy could end up pushing Russia completely out of the Western Hemisphere, resetting decades of regional dynamics in Washington's favor. Many experts believe Putin had long realized that he could not stop what the White House described as an act of absolute resolve, signaling that Moscow's influence had reached